I've been meditating since I was a little girl too, and
Great.
my kids do.
Our moms are going to get along. Welcome to the YANAcast. I'm your host, Ariana Tokes, recording at YANA, a mental wellness and creativity center based in the heart of Washington, D.C. YANA stands for You Are Not Alone, and we're on a mission to cultivate connections for creative communities. Join us at YANA Center in D.C. or virtually tune into the YANAcast to hear from our network of subject matter experts, creative talent, and YANA Wellness Advisors. We discuss alternative medicines like cannabis and mushrooms that are now proven to be a mental health and creative support for so many. As we're almost through this prohibition, YANA's goal is to amplify the voices that are on the forefront of changing the stigma. Our guests have powerful insights not only on cannabis, but also on navigating through this life. We hope that our show helps stimulate new ways of thought and fuels you to pursue your passions too. Now take a load off, spark one up, and let's get into it. Okay, so Dr. Vivid.
Hi.
This has been a long time coming because, we met very recently.
Yes.
We met through Reese, our outreach manager at YANA.
Love Reese.
And you are just so aligned with the YANA, mission, core values that when, she pulled you up and it was like clinical psychologist. Oh, what? You're also doing microdosing therapy. You're an advocate for cannabis and also self-love, women empowerment. You're all of these things. And meeting you, I was like, this is the type of person I want. But then you started twerking on the dance floor. And that's when I knew. Solidified in time. At that moment, I was like, that's my doctor.
Yes. It wasn't when I gave my credentials, it's when I threw that ass in a circle.
Exactly.
You were like, it's her.
Right.
It's her.
You could be all credentials, great on paper, but it's the vibe that matters.
Absolutely. I believe that being human is the first thing that we need to really realize about each other, no matter what the title, no matter what we're doing. I'm a human, and I want you to know this is how I authentically human.
Right. Yeah. Right. And you're a doctor and you give people great advice and you help people so much, but at the end of the day, you're human too.
Exactly.
And that is super important you can't always fake it, right? And you definitely don't. So, yeah, so tell us who you are.
So, I am Dr. Ashley Elliott, but I affectionately go by Dr. Vivid, aka your favorite fun size, pint size, travel size, social media therapist, and actual doctor of clinical psychology. So I'm a native Washingtonian. I'm a mom of 2 girls with a target addiction. I'm a plant girl. I am a hoodoo practitioner. I am a proponent of psychedelic therapy. And I'm just a girl who wants to help people heal.
Right.
I think that's the bulk of me. I've always wanted to help people feel better.
I love that. And I think here is a space where I want to help provide that space so that you can grow in this passion career and do it with the clientele that is looking for you.
Absolutely.
Pretty much. So you're now a YANA Wellness Advisor.
Shout out to YANA.
And at YANA, you do 15-minute free consultations.
Absolutely.
To figure out what, each individual needs.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your wellness consultations and what goes into that.
So everybody that meets with me, I always say, hey, look, we need 15 minutes to chat and figure out if our vibe is right. And also for me to get a better understanding of what your wellness needs are. Are you looking for someone that is just going to tell you what to do? I'm not your girl. If you're looking for someone who's going to be a yes man, I am not your girl. But if you're looking for someone that's going to help you figure out your wellness goals and make long-term plans for your mind, body, and spirit, and if you then want to go further and transition into therapy, or you're in between, I am your girl. And if you're looking for a therapist who's going to sit in black slacks, white shirt, gray blazer in a chair and is going to knock, I am not your girl. I am the girl who is going to tell you what you need to hear because so many people in your life have not. And that's just the bulk. The wellness session is really me the wellness session consultation is really me getting to know you and getting to know what you think your issues or the things you want to work on are without other people's input.
Love it. All right. So before we get deeper, because there's so many questions I want to ask you, by the way, let's get get some wellness on and some creativity on with some flower.
Yes. It is your house. And the way my mama taught me is you let the woman of the house do the honors.
So I will do the honors, and I will get you loaded up in this adorable little bubble bath bubbler.
I love it. It's a rubber ducky.
It's you spotted it. You're like, is that a rubber ducky? I was like, that is the rubber ducky we are using today. But I want to tell you, like, I truly, on my social media right now, I look like a huge stoner. Right? Like, I look like a stoner. Like, I look like I smoke all the time. I don't. I'm a social smoker. I smoke like twice a week.
Really?
Yeah. I don't smoke on the work week, like, because I can't, because I have ADHD. So when I smoke, it's like, I have no cares in the world.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
so
interesting.
So I'm going to take a little hit with you.
Okay.
But like, I only hang out with functional smokers. Like,
I don't like, that's a thing. I don't know what it means to be a non-functional smoker.
Right.
Unless it's like I'm out on a vacation and we're just like, well, you know, balls to the wall. But it's the opposite for me. I have to smoke in the week or I'm no good. So I end my work day with my toking because I have to be able to eat and to sleep. And that's the only way I can eat and sleep.
Interesting. And see, that's how most people that I'm friends with are. But like, for me, it's just, I love the culture. Like, I respect it. I think it's great. For me, it's more of a creative, like, outlet and off hours. Like, when I want my mind to just be fucking crazy and go off the walls. That's me. But should I do a little hit?
A little. Again,
I'm going to do a little
Dr. Vivid does not condone any peer pressure. You do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
If you say no, you don't have to.
Here we go.
That was the cutest little toke.
That's, I changed my name to Ari Tokes from Ari Only Smokes because I was like, this is fake. I'm like really trying to rebrand right now. I'm like, I only toke. I microdose. I do everything in moderations now. But I wasn't only smoking.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be true to yourself. And I feel like we all evolve. There's a point in our lives when we're like, oh, okay, this is what's cool for me. And then you are like, this doesn't fit. And it's okay. It's just like when you clean out your closet every season, you're like, this doesn't fit anymore. I'm going to do something else and do what matters to me. And toking is what's good for you.
Right. Yeah. And I'm trying to like be more authentic to myself, like the actual person I am on social, which, yeah, I mean, I also would love to talk to you about, my background in psychology my focus was in human computer interaction. So I wasn't really interested in like interpersonal relationships with like one-on-one people in real life. I was more interested in like how we interact online, how we interact with devices. And you know what, I got out of the psychology scene because that gave me severe anxiety. Yeah. Like, social media is a dangerous place.
It can definitely be a dangerous place.
And at the time when I was 22, 21, like, it was, really becoming a new industry, and I just wasn't ready for it mentally. So I'm back.
And we're glad that you're back. And I love what you're doing, and I love the rebrand. And I believe, that you're being authentically you. I've been in your space a few times now, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't feel that it was authentic, because it's just not necessary. I don't believe in adding extra things to your life if they don't fit.
Right. And I really appreciate that, because this is the first time when I met you, when I quit my job, I took a break from life, about 8 months I was jobless, but it was the most important time to like cultivate myself, like use my 401k that like I spent, 8 years in corporate America getting to build myself, to take time to be like, hey, I'm not who I want to be. I want to cultivate and spend time on myself and building the future, like my authentic future. So yeah, you met me at a time where now I'm fully leading as like myself, when before I wasn't. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah. But more about you.
Oh, what do you want to know about that?
Oh my God. Okay. So you have 2 speaking engagements coming up tomorrow.
I have Jesus. Yeah, I have one tomorrow and I have one Saturday. It's me not knowing what day of the week it was because it's been such a clusterfuck all week long.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I am speaking at the American Psychological Association's 2023 convention, and I get to present with my fellow dope clinician, Dr. Kelly Dunlap. She does a lot of her work in social media and gaming. So
weird. You know I'm coming. I'm sneaking in.
It's the way I'm just gonna look up and see like, is that okay, girl?
Yeah. I'm gonna be recorded.
And that's fine. I love it. So I'm gonna be speaking about social media and ethics and how clinicians or mental health professionals really need to understand social media use and content creation and the implications. And because we're not talking about that. Let's be real. When the latest version of the DSM came out, DSM, as I like to refer to it, is our diagnostic Bible. It's the thing that helps us diagnose and code. So when that came out, there's nothing that handles like social media or big technological, there's no advice for us. Everything is aspirational. So our judge tomorrow is to really use the expertise that we have garnered and our research to help people make informed decisions and to have the APA be like, we need to talk to you. It's time. It's time. We're growing. Technology is always evolving. And if technology evolves, you have to understand that your clients, your consumers, the populace is evolving too. So that's what I'm speaking about tomorrow.
And I swear, like, we really manifested each other because this is like what I really want to start talking about. I mean, representing talent, being in this industry of like virality and media is a huge industry.
Absolutely.
Social media influence is a fairly new job.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have any, practice on, psychologists actually knowing the struggles and the needs of these people. So it's super important.
It is.
And these people need it the most.
Have you seen TikTok and Instagram? Yes. And they very much so need this. And
yes.
The actual theme, APA don't beat me up, but it revolves around basically growing and evolving this year and new things and really taking a fresh look at it. So when we pitched, Kelly was like, they're not going to pick us. And I was like, girl, yes, they are. And she's like, it's so radical. And I was like, girl, believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And when she texted me and was like, oh my God, they picked our topic, I was like, I knew it.
Yeah. Because
it's in the forefront right now. Which leads me to the second thing I'm presenting for. So on Saturday, actually. What day is it? On Saturday, I am presenting for AVX PDX, which is housed in Portland, but I'm going to be presenting virtually. And I'm in the Healers Conversation Summit. So I'm going to be talking about how I use work in the metaverse and social media to benefit and promote mental health and awareness and to make spaces healthy. I am on the JED Foundation's Youth and Young Adult Mental Health Advisory Board. So it's all about making sure these spaces are safe and making sure that developers, moderators, platform creators, influencers understand the impact of what they put out.
Right. And I love that. And you introduced me to Leah, LM Designs.
I love her.
Yes. And she is actually putting in on our virtual reality glasses here for the Creativity and Wellness Center. She's putting her meditation games. And she built a game in the metaverse.
Yes.
And it's non-competitive gaming, which I also studied in undergrad, is non-competitive gaming. And it's just... I'm just aligning with the right people now, and it's all organic. And I really feel like the network, like once you meet good people, it just expands out from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to go to both of these. I'm like not even kidding. I'm like, my schedule doesn't matter. I'm going to both of these because these are important.
You're my favorite sexy stalker.
Yeah, I'm definitely a stalker. used to be Kush Jenner is what my old employees would call me.
Yes, Kush Jenner.
Because I'm like that content mom that's like always there. But I get it actually from my mom. Who's always taking.
Your beautiful mom. She's so pretty. I love that.
So funny. Okay, so let's keep going. There's like more I want to dig into. And I think it's the microdosing therapy that I want to talk about. Like, tell us about that practice and how it works. Because it's new.
Yes. So there are a lot of therapists who are getting in line with microdosing and psychedelic assisted therapy. And there are a lot of Black clinicians that are really getting into it because, to be honest, it's something that is culturally aligned. You know, healing and plant medicine is a part of our culture. It's part of our grandparents, our ancestors' culture. And some people think it's radical, but I'm like, baby, this has been around for so long. And now we have a lot of people who are getting certified in psychedelic assisted, whether it's ketamine, or some people are really pushing for MDMA and psilocybin. So in my holistic and my spiritual practices as African spirituality practitioner, I use microdosing to help my clients really tap into emotion and really have conversations with themselves without the fear of, if I say this, how will people feel about me? How will this be used against me? Because when you're doing microdoses, I want people to understand shrooms are not just to get high and have this like really funky yellow submarine, the walls are melting trip. Right. When you're doing microdoses, it's more about getting you in touch with your empathic self and taking a dose that's comfortable with you to help reduce anxiety. And it's kind of like a little bit of truth serum. It's the ability to just take something, sit and be like, oh, I can feel my feelings more intensely now. But because of this medicine's safety for me, I feel safe to express what those feelings are. So I do a lot of that spiritual work. We call it part of our shadow work, you know, really working on what's helping you align with yourself, align with your spirituality, and letting go of things that don't serve you. And I'm seeing that a lot of things that are versed in Black and Indigenous culture are now being looked at and eyed by mainstream medicine and psychology. And it's just like, y'all are late, but congratulations.
Well, see, that's why I want to promote women and good people at the forefront of this, because the pharmaceutical industry loves to take over everything. And this isn't something they can, which is why I feel in a way it's been suppressed for so long. It's because we go straight into thinking, you know, you need drugs. You need pharmaceutical drugs that keep you dependent on them. And when you're off them, you need them to be good. And it makes no sense. Yeah. So the reason it makes no sense is because it's a money-making thing.
Absolutely.
And this is more about like truly mental wellness practice. And we're really not taught to get introspective. No. That is a fear of a lot of people. We're always, you know, seeking validation from outside, what the social norms are supposed to be. But like, it's scary to go internal and to think about your own ideas, intuition, like perspectives. And yeah, mushrooms for me, they've definitely helped me be able to feel okay in myself. And saying it out loud is so important. And these are not things we're taught to do as kids. We're really taught to like conform.
Yeah.
It's weird.
As we're sitting here, you know, you've been around me, so, you know, I make songs and ditties about everything. And I feel like the societal norm is to suppress, not express, because that doesn't cause everybody else more stress. So it's, you know, it's like if I tell you how I'm feeling and that makes you feel uncomfortable, your normal reaction is to try to stop what I'm feeling. Like if you started crying right now talking about your journey, somebody else who wasn't me would be like, oh, don't cry.
Yeah.
Because the crying makes them feel uncomfortable.
Right. Feel.
And instead of, I don't do that. So instead I'd be like, oh, why are you crying? You know, do you need more space to cry? Because so many of us will say, I'm fine, I'm okay. because we feel that our emotions are burden to other people.
Right.
And we walk around in these bodies so full of all of this stress that we could let go if only we would tap into ourselves and believe that I have to please myself first. So expressing myself helps me be a better person for me, and therefore be a better person in interacting with people around me.
Love it. And it's in terms of practicing this, and also the helping skills of people around you, like to know and be self-aware of this is the normal like response, is to kind of not feel like the normal response, I feel, is you want to stop people from feeling. And being aware that that is not right is something we can do here, something you do through your platforms. And it's important, like allowing people to express how they feel. And, you know, if that makes you uncomfortable, like if having your friend like cry and do, if you feel uncomfortable, it's kind of like you have things to work out in yourself. Like it's triggering something within you that you need to as well. And it's like, if you don't love yourself, it's hard to take care of others. You can't take care of others.
No. And it's okay to be activated by something, but it's all important to understand that your activation doesn't create a deactivation in others. We have to make sure we hold space, the same space that we would want people to hold for us. We have to be aware, but a lot of us aren't taught to be self-aware. We're taught to be self-serving. So it's a whole thing.
It is, but I'm glad we're talking about it. I think self-awareness, now everybody's like learning about self-awareness, but it's also a practice. Like you can be self-aware and still exhibit like these traits that you shouldn't be, but you have to continue to practice and want to learn. And hopefully our listeners want to learn more about this, because I want to do like your microdosing therapy. I want to record it maybe on the next session. What would you feel about
we can do that as long as you're open to it.
Oh, I'm open. I'm an open book. I am completely like, everyone knows everything about me, which is kind of bad, but I'm very much an open book. And I feel like there's so many people that don't know about therapy, and these are also new forms of therapy. And I want to share these experiences so people don't, like, they're not scared of it. Needing therapy or wanting to do therapy isn't a bad thing. Like,
absolutely not.
If anything, it's like hot. I think it's hot when people go to therapy.
It's like, are you going to therapy? Oh my God.
That's hot.
Take my number. That's hot. But I think people see therapy as a bad last resort, when actually is a maintenance tool. You don't have to go to therapy because, I always say this, you don't have to go to therapy because something is wrong. You go to therapy because you're trying to make sure you're getting it right.
Exactly.
You're just trying to make sure you're getting it right. It's about maintenance. You can be the strongest structure around, but you still need maintenance.
Right.
You know, the White House, the monument, I'm just saying that because I'm a DC girl, they exist, and they have existed for decades and decades and decades. But there are times when people say, oh, we have to like shut stuff down or do scheduled maintenance in order for it to continue to stand as sturdy as it is. Right. So if we can do that with inanimate objects, why aren't we required or thinking that that's what we need to do for our bodies?
Right. No, I mean, it's our bodies and our minds. So like physical wellness is something that we've always had, and it's taught, and you know, in terms of higher education, you know, there's doctors doing this. Psychology has a lot of growth. It's, you know, we're growing as, I guess, science, for example. It's like we're to continue to learn. And something I don't feel like we got into a lot was the importance of like your mental stability and wellness. Like we definitely physical, we care about that. But yeah, I don't think emotions and your mental wellness was prioritized as high.
No.
And it needs to be. It like is higher.
Right.
If anything, your mind and how you feel and the chemical reactions that you're putting into your body affect your physical.
Exactly. The mind, body, spirit connection. Yeah. Everything flows. Yeah. So, when they're out of alignment, you will get hit in a way that everything is hit. If you have a headache and you constantly ignore this headache and it's week 3 of the headache, you are then going to get either depressed or frustrated or have a certain amount of stress in your life that is emotional because you haven't hit the headache. So then you're going to be down and you're not going to do the spiritual practices. You're not going to want to interact with the people. So now your spirit has taken a hit, and vice versa. If you're not doing the things that spiritually align with you, you get frustrated, you get disenchanted, you get sad. And then your body says, oh, well, I haven't been doing Reiki, I haven't been doing yoga, I haven't been moving, I haven't been going with my friends. Then you have headaches and backaches. And then if you don't take your meds or you're not paying attention to your mental health, you're not going to therapy, you're like, what's wrong with me? I'm sleeping more. I feel so blah, I feel so sluggish, and I don't have the motivation. It's all connected. We can't see it as separate. It's a Lego blocks. It's like click, click, click. They all go together.
Right. Mm-hmm. And if you're self-aware of that, then like, I feel like, I'm going to say it here, red flag if you don't go to therapy. It's a red flag for me. Like for a partner in life. I feel like we can't emotionally be on the same level or help each other build if you're not taking care of yourself. Yeah. So therapy's hot.
Therapy's really hot. Therapy is sexy. Therapy is a green flag.
Green flag for me. Mm-hmm. Same with cannabis. Cannabis is a part of all of this like holistic wellness. I feel like. It's
so funny. My partner doesn't really do cannabis a lot.
Okay.
And she usually is like, oh, I don't really talk to people who blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, girl, but this is a lifestyle for me. And
right. That's my first question is like, do you smoke?
Or
it's like, we're already smoking, so I don't have to ask it.
Right. And I was like, so I like to go, do you smoke? And also, does smoking bother you? And if you don't smoke, why don't you smoke? Not like, why don't you have to smoke it? But like, what are your opinions on marijuana? And we had this conversation. And the funny thing was, I realized that a lot of people who didn't realize, they see doctor and they're like, oh, straight edge. And I'm like, crooked as hell. And she's like, well.
Just the way I like them.
Right? She's like, this smells different. You're functional. You're still talking to me. And I was like, the narrative of the lazy, stinky stoner. That's not what this is. And now she's gone to like marijuana infused tea parties with me now. Mm-hmm. She lit a J and I was like, who are you?
I love
what are you doing?
Showing like changing people's perception of this because your mom likes cannabis, so does mine.
Loves cannabis. Yeah. Big love.
Right. So it's like we grew up, I guess, with not thinking this is bad because it's not. And so many people are still like hiding it, which is weird to me because first of all, alcohol, I think that's weird that something that can kill you is so normalized.
That's so wild to me. I have never hit a J and been like, you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to start a bar fight. Never in my life have I done that. And people are like, oh my God, you dirty stoner. I'm like, the most I'm going to do, my dude, is eat 2 honey buns and watch Pose like 4 times in a row.
That's take a fat ass nap.
I'm going to take a nap or be doing like twerking to Disney musicals or some shit like that.
Yeah, and you're going to remember your entire night.
What you did.
Like what? Drinking alcohol, like you literally forget everything. You're like mean. It makes a lot of people violent. And cannabis makes you just want to hug everyone.
You just want to hug. You just want to say some shit. You just like, you want to take a nap. You want to like pull a blanket up. You want to eat. Like,
it's so much safer.
It's so much safer and so much fun. I have a grandma that's 80. She'll be 81 and my other grandma will be 88 this year. And now I've introduced them to like CBD and THC topicals. Mm-hmm. And before, when I was younger, they would say things. My grandma was like, you smoking that reefer? She was one of those grandmas. Like, you smoking that? And now my other cousin is a manager at a dispensary in Maryland. And we were talking and she was like, do you have any of that stuff? I said, oh, not that stuff. Let me bring you that stuff, grandma.
Yeah. It is very fun to like promote this culture. Like, I'm so glad I'm in this space instead of like promoting drugs and alcohol, that like pharmaceuticals. Like I used to be in pharmaceutical litigation, and that I felt like I was representing the devil.
That just sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was like all of those things you think about, pharmaceuticals are suppressing news. They're hiring lobbyists to suppress like studies. They are not publicly talking about how many people are negatively affected by their drugs.
Yes.
So yeah, representing cannabis finally feels right.
Yeah, like, and the pharmaceutical company is a big reason why a lot of the plant medicine that we know and been researching for decades has not been put in the mainstream. Mm-hmm. They're like, there's no way, because they can't find a way to regulate it and get paid for it the way they want to.
Right.
And it's such a sad thing that, especially in a world where we don't have access to fair and adequate health care, that there are options that are way cheaper via plant medicine and assisted in therapy, period. Mm-hmm. Because the pharmaceutical companies are like, okay, that's cute. I know that
but works. How are we going to make money?
But how am I going to Santorini next week?
Exactly. No, it's crazy. But I'm like so happy that, there's no way to suppress it anymore.
Nope.
Like you can't deny the facts anymore, and now they just want a seat at the table. That's why things are changing.
Yep.
We are going green, is because now they've had time to catch up and be at the forefront and get their place at the table before everyone still. But they're making room. So you know what? It's like you gotta work with corporate America, and like I guess I've had a lot of like recent triggering moments of like just not liking society in America at all and wanting to leave this country. But like, it's just about working with, finding ways to like still do what you want and like promote what you want, but knowing that, the world revolves around money right now.
It does. It's just hard to feel like, oh, I'm a part of the capitalistic cog sometimes, because we need money to survive. But then the other day I told my friend, I was like, they just told everybody that the aliens are here. I'm going to book me a baddie. So whoever is, please know that I am here and I am not like the rest of these crazy capitalistic folk. I just want to smoke weed and talk about your alien desires. We can get down, pansexual baddie.
Oh my God, you are full on talking to the aliens right now.
I am. I have put it on my IG story so much, and I'm like, why are you not answering me?
No, they're coming. They're
here.
They're here.
Hopefully they'll be like, I think Beyonce created this. I think they were like, the tour is happening. Get all those. And I'm like, I'm here, baby. See you Sunday.
God. Well, that's why I love being in DC. And this is home for me as well. It's because this is an area for change.
Oh, yeah.
Like the reason we're able to be in a creativity and wellness center is because DC is still in this R&D phase of how we're going to do it differently, how we're going to integrate cannabis to a regulated market. So that's why I love being home. It's because, they do take social equity programming seriously. They do take just like integrating minorities to having a seat at the table more seriously than other states I've worked in.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to be a part of this at home and doing this with you at the beginning. Like we're just starting, I feel like, in terms of making serious change in this industry.
Absolutely. That made my shoulders jingle.
I love that. Yeah, we're going to do a lot of creativity, but then executing on business in this place.
Business. That's the one thing I find as a Black woman in all industries. People will love to talk to me about creativity, but when I talk about money, they're like,
they're not. They are. So not, yeah.
I'm like, we have to talk about you. Why you feel like you could just talk to me for like can I cuss?
Yes,
a
please.
Fucking hour and be like, oh my God, I'm in the plight of the Black woman. I am an ally. And I'm like, okay, you want to do a consult? I'll get back to you. No, pay me like you were going to pay Beth Ann.
Right.
It's really hard here.
No, I think people are starting to value this more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's showing the value.
Yeah.
Which is tough and annoying and a struggle. And yeah, if you think about it too long, it gives you anxiety. But I think...
Shout out to Lexapro.
Shout out to Lexapro. Yeah, honestly, like, no shade on the pharmaceutical industry. I do take, my medicines. I need it. But there are alternatives.
There are alternatives. And I'm thankful for the scientists who are able to put these chemical compounds together to help us. But this wasn't the scientific plan. The pharmaceutical companies ran with that shit. And of course, things have to cost things, but not our lives.
Right.
So I love my meds, but I'm still aware that Michael Smith, whoever you are, you're a bad man, and I hope your yacht runs out of fuel.
Yeah, and I'm gonna prefer flour if I can. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Everything in moderation, but yeah, now we have alternatives. Also, I don't know, do you know transcendental meditation at all?
I have been introduced to that by a lot of the Black and Indigenous practitioners that I know are into it, especially the practitioners who are of Asian descent. And let me be real, because some people think Asian and they only think of one thing. That means the practitioners who are maybe of Filipino descent, of Indian, like the country.
Right.
And they've been really introducing me to it. And so tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, so my mom, we'll get her on one day, but my mom is someone who introduced it to me when I was 8 years old. And so I was meditating as a child. Like, that was normal. Very lucky that my mom introduced that to me. So basically, transcendental meditation is right now the only form of meditation that the APA, the American Psychology Association, has accredited as reducing anxiety, lowering blood pressure and cholesterol, and and depression without needing pharmaceuticals. So it's clinically proven to help people with this, but it's not a medical benefit in this country. In this country, you have to pay a premium. In other countries, transcendental meditation is taught in elementary schools, in public schools. It's crazy.
So they can't put a price tag on it. They're like, nope. Yeah. But and it's so interesting. My mother I've been meditating since I was a little girl too. And my kids do.
Our moms are going to get along.
Oh, yeah. Especially because your mom's a Toki. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So the idea, it never seemed like a weird thing that when people started talking about transcendental meditation, I was like, oh, yeah. It never was like, oh my God, that's such a novel concept. It was meditation, mindfulness, centering, and being at, knowing your body. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But everything is such a oh my God, this is new. And I'm like, it's not.
This is all, it's just not talked about because we weren't given a platform to before and things were being suppressed.
Yeah.
But now we're ready.
We're ready. We're
here. Me and you could go on for hours. So fucking cool. You're the shit.
Oh my
God. Thank you for just realigning me during this retrograde, honestly, too.
That's powerful.
Yeah.